Shalom, this is a Charbon Sharala, Alliance Den Camp, located here just for Florida. First and foremost, I would like to all praise and honor and glory to the Father and the Son and the proper true Hebrew tongue. Call Halayam La, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Ha, Ukah, Kudash, Ma'amah. Also, double honors to elders and apostles of GMS. Double honors to our elder down here in the Alliance Den Camp, Ahara Sharala. Peace and blessings to one third. And straight to the for elect. It's going to be a quick little lesson just going into Matthew 10, 16 with a few precepts. The point being, we were sent forth as, that's I go ahead and get the scripture. It's Matthew 10 and 16. Yeah. This is Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves." So first and foremost, that's what the Lord is doing. The Lord's sheep, the ones that through Yahushua are going to, be made known. Who are the servants of Yahweh Shemashai with truth and sincerity. The ultimately the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and speckled birds, which is our people that like the other nations. But ultimately they go back to the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those are the true Israelites according to the scriptures. And the men out of the 12 tribes of Israel are going to be on the highways and byways, the street corners, the main places of concourse. They're gonna be as sheep, amongst wolves, man. They're gonna be out in the midst of battle. A spiritual warfare, doing the will of the Father Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, man. Being those sheep, being meek, being humble, being part of the Lord's pasture, being healing the sick. When Yahushua was on this earth around from like 3 BC to 37 AD, that's what he was doing. He was healing, man. He wanted to heal. Yeah. He came on this earth as a man and as a healer. He was made a little lower than an angel. But yeah, he came as a healer. He came to heal our people. 2/3 of our people didn't want that healing. They didn't want that from Yahweh. Even though that healing is a good thing. But that's 2/3 of our people, man. I'm gonna read it again. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. To behold, I send forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, man. So yeah, the wolves don't want the healing; they want blood. That's what 2 other people, they want blood. They want mischief, blood, lasciviousness. They want everything under the sun that has nothing to do with the Most High and everything to do with this world, though. And I said, "But be ye therefore wise as a serpent." So wise as who's the hammer of the earth right now that beguiled this whole planet? I mean, it's like not the whole planet, well, the whole world ultimately. Through gun, golden oil, through all his wicked acts. Esau, man, the Caucasian race. Knowing that he's like, I go get this. This is Ezekiel chapter 28, verse 2. It says, "Son of man, saying to the prince of Tyrus, this said the Lord Yahweh, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet though thou art a man, and not God. Though thou set thy heart as the heart of God." Man, this is Esau, man. Them red folks, man, the ones that came out red like and hairy, like a red furry garment. The ones that ruling the earth right now. You know, the ones that with their wickedness they was able to shape this whole matrix. This is basically a quote unquote reality. But that word matrix is just womb, matre. We're in this reality where good is bad, and bad is good. Truth is bad. So and ultimately, Esau shaped that like that. Through his wicked devices. But the Lord gonna turn it. The Lord is gonna turn it topsy turvy. With his ushering of his servants, and of course, ushering in prophecies. This economic collapse of this kingdom Babylon, man. bringing in Jacob Trouble, and ultimately the MOTB, and then 200 million ICBMs. All right. But verse 3 though, but thou art right, wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can be hid, that they can hide from thee. All right. Esau being wiser than Daniel, man. He is the intelligent adversary, man. But ultimately, if you're an adversary, if you're coming against Yahweh by Shemashah, you're not going to win. You may be smart amongst his world. He was able to shape his world how you wanted to. He made the weirdness how he wanted to, you know. But ultimately, he is gonna get his end. But within that, you want to be wiser than that, because we want to be the men of the Lord. They want to be we want to be we want to be more pure than the go to Ufaz. We want the Lord to do that to us. We want to be just as wise. We want to ask for wisdom, have knowledge and understanding. Everything we need. Have peace and righteousness and the laws, statutes, commandments in our inward parts. That's what we want. We want them bodies. We want salvation. All right. So that's the criteria. So once again, it says, "Be ye therefore wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove." So this is a spiritual warfare. You're not supposed to do anything physical. The Lord is doing all that. Literally, the walls of Jericho. We blowing our trumpets and we preaching. We're circling the walls until it come down. That's what the Lord asks us to do. We don't gotta do nothing else but that. This is Psalm chapter 103. Psalm chapter 100 verse 3 says, "Know ye that the Lord, He is God." The Lord Yahweh. It is He that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. So we are His chosen flock, His chosen pasture. We are those sheep that He wants to set aright, and that knowing that He made us. The Most High made us His children, man. Israel, Yasharallah. He is a prince of power. Yah meaning He, Shar meaning prince, and Allah meaning power. Knowing that is our calling, that's our doing, that's our will on this earth to do, to be the Lord's sheep. That's what we're gonna do. We were sent out as sheep amongst wolves, and we're gonna be wiser than the hammer of this earth right now. And we're gonna, but we're gonna be just as calm and meek as Yahweh Shai when he was on this earth, because you see what happened to him. So what happened to Yahweh Shai, our own people, 2/3 of our people, didn't like him being the healer. But that's that ultimately, people not liking the men of the Lord right now is because they ultimately hate Yahweh by Shemashah. And we're gonna follow the same. We're gonna go through the straights. We're gonna follow the same path. We're gonna do what we gotta do. This is Proverbs chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 20. It says, "Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets." Just going into being sent out as sheep amongst wolves, because wisdom crieth out. She uttered her voice in the streets. That's where the men of the Lord are gonna be in the streets, man. The Lord sent them there, just like sheep amongst wolves, man. It says, "She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates in the city. She uttered her voice, her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge." All right, so that's what the Lord is commending our people to do. For 2/3, they're not going to hear them words, and for the 1/3, they actually going to hear that, and they'll be transformed through the wisdom and the understanding and the righteousness and the faith of Yahweh Shemashah. But for the ones that continue scorning and continue to scoff, continue to hate knowledge and wisdom, there's going to be one that's not going to turn at the Lord's reproof. Verse 23 says, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit into you. I will make known my words unto you." All right. "Because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded." All right. Verse 25 says, "But you have said not at all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh." So for the ones that are accounted as in wolves, 2/3 of our people, those are going to be the ones the Lord's going to be laughing at when their calamity comes, because He has sent His sheep out. the men of the Lord, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, is out on the highways, the byways, the street corners, and giving out wisdom. If you don't want it, then hey, you gotta keep moving. If you do want it, study it, deserve yourself approved, and try to learn from learned men, whoever got it. Just to go into the point, be harmless. I mean, be wise as a serpent. Being wise in everything here on this earth. And the wisdom of the world is foolish ultimately. So it's not hard, man. We have the wisdom of Yahweh by my shot. So that's easy to be wiser than what his word has to offer. But also be harmless as a dove. 2 Corinthians chapter 10 verse 4 says, "For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds." So man, within that harmlessness, we know that our shield and our power, that we are the Lord's battle axe, and of course He uses us, and we're going to use Him as a strong tower of protection, and He'll do the same thing for us. So He'll use us as a battle axe, and it's going to be through His words that will happen, For once again, for the weapons of warfare not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling down of strongholds. Now, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24. It says, "For wisdom is more moving than any emotion. She passive and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness." So this is the weapon that the Lord armed us with. Our servant Sophia, man. The scriptures in His truth, His knowledge and wisdom, understanding. All right, this is what He sent His sheep out to amongst these wolves to armor with, knowing that they're gonna be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove, and uses wisdom as the understanding that the Lord has bestowed unto us to wake up our people, to wake up the whole for elect, and then 1/3, and for the 2/3, for 2/3 they're gonna just know in their mind that that's a prophet, but they can't do nothing about it because it's in their lot to be wicked. It's in their lot to hate the Most High, and ultimately they'll be healed in the kingdom. They'll get their fire on they'll get the fire on this side, but they'll be ultimately healed to the kingdom, man. But Lord only has a quick edifying little lesson, man. Be harmless as a dove, man, and ultimately, first and foremost, we're sending out His sheep among wolves. Be harmless as a dove, and wise as a serpent, But Lord has edifying lesson once again. With that, Shalom.